All right, so now to bring across with us and anybody jump in, of course, the first thing that you're going to require is your proof of vaccination. Document, I'm sure everybody has probably got that, but if you don't, I would suggest that you print out your certificate, which shows either your 2 or your 3 vaccinations on there. Good thing to carry. One of the things that I take with me is one of these type of binders, okay? Just something like this, just a binder, and keep all my documents rather than, you know, fold them up and everything. What tends to happen, especially with the Q code here, if you get a crease in it, sometimes these little pixels, you know, the pixels are very detailed, and if you get a crease across them and one gets damaged and they try and scan it, it just won't work. So it doesn't hurt to print it off, put it in someplace, an envelope in your suitcase or something, so that you have a copy of the vaccination. They may not ask to, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, you can take a picture of it with your cell phone, carry a copy on your cell phone.
Absolutely.
Hey guys,
and
you can, but you're not allowed to use
excuse me, guys.
Sorry, we got doubling in here. Hang on. First of all, go ahead, Ken.
I was going to say, you can put it on your cell phone, but you're not allowed to use your cell phone at customs, so you can't take it out to show them.
That's wrong.
Okay,
Excuse me. I'll explain what's happening here.
Sure.
Okay. Can I talk now, Al?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay. Now, when you go through customs, you do have to have the Arrive Canada app, and in the app on your cell phone, you will have to scan it and bring this up, and this is what it's going to show. You have to have a cell phone and you have a scanner, and they will scan that off your cell phone for proof of passport, for proof of your certificates of your vaccines. And then you will have to fill in a form also to have a plan to say if you have to quarantine for 4 or 5 days, you have to have a plan in place, and you're going to have a bunch of questions to answer. You do need to go and fill out the Arrive Canada app. You have to have that.
And how to go about that is that there is a new procedure. Okay. This is the website that you have to go to. And what I will do is I will show you. You can Google Arrive Can is what it's called. Arrive Can. It's an application, and when we click on it, what happens, and I'm taking it, you guys are not seeing this website, right?
No.
No. Okay, so what I will do is I will take you to the website, and this is what it looks like. As Claude is telling you, it's a use Arrive Can to enter Canada. It's self-explanatory. Now, my understanding is the one scan, okay, includes everybody in that vehicle, right? You don't need, if you've got 5 people traveling in a vehicle, you don't need 5 different scans. That's my understanding with reading all the directions. Can you confirm that, Claude?
It's usually when you do scan, it'll come out like this here.
Yes.
And like for traveling.
Did you add your wife to yours?
Okay, yes, I'm going to get there. Now, when you do fill out the Arrive Can, it's going to ask you, you know, probably who's with you, and it was me and Yvette. Now, if you're not related to, let's say, Al, and I'm not related to, let's say, Joe, you pretty much have to have your own Arrive Can filled out for yourself. Even if there's 5 people in the car, if you're not related or not married, you should have your own Arrive Can app, because it'll only specify, you know, different people have different, they're going to ask you, where do you live? What's your street address? And if you, and when you fill that in, it's an individual information. So if you're traveling by yourself, I would highly suggest that you do get the ArriveCan app. It's not hard to get. Okay. And it's going to be, I don't know if you can see it in my phone right here on the side. That's what the app looks like.
Yeah.
ArriveCan.
And I'll show it on my phone too. There it is right there. Let me get it focused in here.
Yeah. So anyways, as you do fill in the app, it'll direct you to, you know, how many people are traveling together. And if it's you and your spouse, well, there's no issues. But if you're traveling by yourself and you're with a friend, your friend should have his own Arrive Canada app because the information will not be the same.
Right. Okay. Thank you, Claude, for clarifying that. That was one area I wasn't 100% sure, because I did talk to a couple that said they had separate ones, one for him, one for his wife, and they had arguments at the border with the customs officer saying you don't need to.
No, you and your wife, it's fine.
Yeah.
There's no issue. But
okay.
Private individuals, because you're maybe not from the same city, okay,
right.
Not the same address, well, that has to change.
That has to change. Okay. Well, and that makes sense. So that's good. Search that up, and you have to get that downloaded, and it works both on iOS or Android based phones.
Another thing that's happened, you don't need a proof of vaccination. I mean, you don't have to get a proof of testing anymore. Okay, but it's still 72 hours prior to coming back to Canada that the Arrive Canada has to be filled out, because it does ask you, okay, what's your date of that arrive, and there can't be more than 72 hours. Otherwise, it like we won't be gone. I think 72 hours. Hey, we're gone for 4 days.
No, we're going for 6 days.
6 days. Okay, so that's you. So that means before we leave, let's say Dayton, you're going to have to fill out the arrival time, the departure time, and they actually want the date, the time on the form. That when you're filling it out.
Mm-hmm.
So you do need a Wi-Fi system or a data plan on your phone to fill that out, because it will not work without that.
You can probably do it at the hotel you're staying at once you get there.
That's correct.
Absolutely.
You can do it at the hotel because they have Wi-Fi facilities. If you don't have a data plan, and you can fill it up before you leave, and
if you need to print something, but prior to going, what you should be doing is I go to my phone here. Let me just do this so you can see the full screen. So I go to my phone, and what I can do is I go to a thing that I call downloads. Okay, where are we here? See the downloads app there? If I click on downloads, what happens is I get 3 PDF files that come up. On one of the PDF files, what it'll do is it will have my passport on there. Okay. There we go there. So it has my passport information on there. The other one that I go to and hit will have my vaccination on there. So it's already on my phone. When you fill out the CAN app, you attach those documents to the Arrive CAN things so that they're on there, so that it all comes up. So if you need assistance and you're going, get a hold of us. What I am hoping to do for the people that will be going to Dayton, a week or two before we leave, we'll have another Zoom get together to make sure everybody gets the final documents. And that's why I asked to do this a month ahead of time, so that everybody has time to get things caught up, get things downloaded, and ready to go. That way. Yes.
Al, as soon as you have all that documentation filled out,
yep,
and when you get to the borders and you hand in your passport,
yep,
automatically when you hand in your passport, the Canada app is linked to your passport.
Correct.
Okay, and then they'll know, because when I went through, they asked, okay, I see that you have filled out your Canada app. as soon as
Yeah.
he scanned my passport. And on that, everything, that was the end of it. But if you don't have all that documentation done properly, you will have an issue crossing the border.
Mhm.
Okay, so there's two sides of that. That gets you back into Canada. Going into the States is a different.
Don't worry about going into the States. They don't even ask you for your proof of vaccination. They want your
That was the
passport.
question. I didn't know what they would accept for a proof of vaccination. And
Okay,
like Al
they
said,
will accept a proof. Okay, first of all, they'll ask for your passport, and they might ask you for proof of vaccination. So you have to have that your card of your first and second shot.
okay, no,
with you.
that was it. So like Al said, if
Yeah.
it's printed out and you have it ready to go, that's
Yeah.
probably good enough for them. And
Yeah, it is.
you hide
But
your- okay.
90% of the chance, all the snowbirds that I've talked to when we were in Arizona or Florida, I talked to my brother, they never asked for proof of vaccination. They were concerned with passport.
Yeah.
Don't ask
So
me why.
going along with this, my son Brian and his new fiance, he just proposed to her, Ricky. So they just got back from Florida. They were down in Florida for a week, and she has all the stuff to go through and what was required and everything. And as Claude said, yeah, they don't even care. The states are wide open. You just come on in and have fun. And if they should ask, at least you've got. That's why it's good to print it out or have it on your phone. So yeah, just proof of vaccination.
Al,
Yes.
you had a download of your passport. Did you just? Are you able to download your passport, or did you just take a picture
Scan
of
it.
it? And
You
put it?
scan it.
I'm asking Al.
Scan it and add it as
Okay.
a document.
Okay.
That's what I did and put it on a download file
Yeah. Okay.
because that ArriveCan app will ask for those documents and attach it like Claude has mentioned. They
Yeah,
as
there's
soon
going
as
to be
they
two.
scan you. Yeah, go ahead.
When you do the download, there's going to be two little areas with a square, and it's going to show PFD file. And when you click on that PFD file on a download, it'll bring you up to let's say where you must have scanned your proof of vaccination. You click on that, and it then scans it to one side, and then you click back on your on your passport PFD file, and it'll actually put it on the your documentation of the Canada app. Okay, so them two pictures are going to be there, and there's other questions that they ask you as you go on. You know what you're using for proof. One of them is going to be passport, and then it might be driver's license as you're going down. You'll see the questionnaire. It's pretty straightforward. It's easy to fill out.
And we'll make sure, like I said, here, if anybody wants to copy down the ArriveCan app, this is the address. So I'll leave this up for a minute or so that you can, it's quite extensive, but doing the Google ArriveCan and or go to Play Store or whatever the case is, or Google or Apple Store and put ArriveCan.
Noticed you had a warning about fake websites trying to ask you for money for this Canada app.
Right.
As well on one of your.
Yeah, there's no cost, my understanding. Anyway, I'm just, yeah, so go ahead.
Yeah, if you do go like to that site, Dal, there's no issue. That's the proper site to go.
Gotcha.
And if you go to a site and they ask you for a fee, you're on the wrong site.
Yeah, no, it's free to download. I just want to acknowledge we've got a few new people joining us. We got Ward from Toronto, and I see Krista. Welcome, Krista. Nice to see you. And
good morning.
Yeah, good to have you aboard. We're doing the Hamvention talk this morning.
Yeah.
And what's required to go in and out, and part of the Hamvention experience. So
now for an American U.S. citizen to go into Canada, is it enough to have your physical passport and your physical vaccination card, or do you need additional information?
Good point. I didn't inquire about that. You may have to check with entry into Canada, and this Arrive Canada app is this area here. So you may want to copy this down, Krista, or that, and see what's required. It's a matter of filling out where you're going to be in Canada, and if you have a the information, if you've got proof of your vaccination and your passport. This is what is required for Canadians to come back into Canada, but I'm not sure about the Americans. Would you know that, Claude?
No, I'm not sure about that. I know that there's a criteria that has to be followed by U.S. citizens when they come into Canada. And the criteria that they have to follow is probably on the U.S. Website, okay, for entering Canada.
Right.
And they will have a breakdown for U.S. citizens on the U.S. website, what is needed. And I also think if you go to the Canadian website, and it does specify an area for you to be able to go get the information. Now, there's another place where all of this information is available is the Snowbird Association, okay? And if you go to the Snowbird Association, they have pretty good information on what the Canadian and U.S. citizens have to cross the borders.
Gotcha.
It'll lead you to the right places anyways.
Okay.
I'm going
So
to
it's
go to
just,
bed. It's me, Alan, and all the rest of you. I'm going to go to bed now, and I thank you very much.
okay, well, good to have you aboard, Carl. Nice to hear from you again, for sure.
See you again. Cheerio.
All right, take care. Bye for now.
Bye.
All righty. So yeah, so just Google Arrive Canada, and as Claude mentioned, check the entry from either the U.S. or the Canadian side of things. All right.
Question.
Yep. Please.
You said you had download on your thing for Apple iPhones. Is it files? Is that where you put it in?
Like if you wanted to add your passport and your vaccination, files, put it in files, a PDF file in a file, and
PDF file.
Yeah.
Now,
because you'll scan it, right?
Yeah. Can I just take a picture of my passport and put it into the file, or?
That's what I mean. You have to scan it. You can use your phone and take a picture. Sure. And when you take a picture with your phone, it's going to create a file.
And it'll probably be a JPEG.
Yeah, either or. Yeah, you're right. Correct.
Yeah.
So.
All right. You can do this on a laptop. You can do this on a computer. Okay. And once you do so, once you're registered with the Canada app, you can do that on a laptop, and then you just download the app on your cell phone, and all that information, when you open the app, all the information that you did put on your computer will come up on the cell phone because you downloaded the app on your cell phone. You don't have to do it on the phone as per se. You can do it on a computer, but you have to download the app on the cell phone.
Yeah, and that's why when we go items to bring with you, stand by. we'll fill you in on that. If you bring in a laptop, then we can do it at the hotel and make sure everybody gets connected, and that a couple of days before we head back across the border. So
you're saying it transfers automatically to your phone?
Yeah.
Well, your account.
You need the app. You need the Canada app on the cell phone.
Right.
You see,
as soon as you open the app, it'll ask you for this here. I'll just show you what it's going to look like.
Yeah. It asks you for.
You're going to see I got the app loaded there. I'm going to hit it. Okay. This is what's going to come up on the cell phone. Okay. And then you have to enter your email address and your password, and you say enter, and then all the information that you downloaded from the computer will be on the app. I don't know if you can see it here.
Yeah, because you create an account, Dennis.
Yeah.
So it's going to be linked to your email address and your password. So if I bring it up, I can't bring up your information unless I have your password.
Yeah, I understand now.
Okay.
So
all right.
The app is going to be on the phone.
Thanks a million.
Not a problem. This is what this is all about, to answer the questions. Okay, so things to bring with you. And this is from experience, believe me. So let's take a look. Your passport. This is a must. You have to bring your passport with you. So check it out. Make sure it does not expire within 6 months of May the 17th. All right. It may cause you some issues. This is why I'm doing this presentation a month ahead. Okay, so that if you have to get to Service Canada to get it updated or something, you still have time to be able to do it under emergent situations. Okay, used to be able to get across with the driver's license or that. Very, very difficult. If you've got a Nexus card, maybe you'll be all right, but passport is required. All right, so that's the one thing, and it's pretty well straightforward. 2, travel insurance that Claude was talking about early. You can get various different programs, Blue Cross, whatever I use, and in this packet that I bring, I have what we call Johnson's Medic Insurance. I'm also under my OPP plan too. I'm covered, and it's got a card with my number on it and telephone numbers. Okay, so if something should happen to me, I will share this information with the group going. Of course, my son and daughter-in-law will have it, and will probably look after issues. But this is, and it's got all the information. It shows the coverage. Should I get COVID down there? Should I pass out and have to go ambulance, fire department, rubber gloves, the whole 9 yards if you have it. Now, you can go to your local bank if you bank with a certain bank, and they will give you travel insurance for a period of time, for a week, 14 days, whatever, and you just pay that premium. There, you got to fill out a application for it, and you can fill it out that way. You may check with your own medical insurance to see if you've got out-of-country travel insurance with it, but very, very important, as Claude alluded to. If something does happen, at least we've got it. Go ahead, Claude.
Another thing that you have to be careful of, a lot of people don't realize this, if you have a pre-existing condition.
You have to mention it.
Now, if you have a pre-existing condition, when you do apply for your insurance, you do have to mention it to them. Because if you don't, you will not be covered. Let's say if you have problems with your lungs, or if you have heart issues, or if, let's say, for instance, you're a diabetic. And even if you had new medication, you're taking a certain kind of medication, and it should be 3 months without a new, let's say you went to see your doctor, he gave you a prescription, let's say, for heart medication. Now, because it's new medication, you have to wait 3 months before you can actually say, I don't have a pre-existing condition. If you go within that period, let's say it's 2 months, and you cross over to the States, and you do get sick for some, and it's related to the heart issue, the medication, you will not be covered. So be very careful that when you fill out that insurance policy, they'll ask you probably do you have any pre-existing issues. Be careful what you answer, how you answer it, okay?
Okay, thank you for adding that. Very important. So yeah, read the fine print on these applications, because they can. But you can get it at your local banks, or call, you may even have an out-of-country policy that covers that.
Yes, some of the banks, depending on the credit cards that you do have insurance available, eh? So,
or you can go to your travel agent.
I think one of the
yes,
Costco
travel
has,
agent too.
I think Costco has something. They offer something for traveling too, eh?
Yeah, there's all kinds. So search it out, and whatever works best for you. But travel insurance is important, and make sure you bring all the documents, phone numbers, account numbers, whatever with you, and have it available. And we will share it. So if you have something and you're traveling alone, let me know or let one of the other amateurs know that if something happens to me, it's in this suitcase, in this pouch, or it's in this whatever, so that we can search that out and make sure that we have it if you're incapable of doing that.
And another thing I'm going to mention again, if for any reason you take any kind of medication and you forget to bring some of your medication, say, well, I'm going to go to a pharmacy and get it. You will not be able to get the prescription. You will have to go to a hospital, okay, to get the added medication. And if you do so, well, then you could be stuck just to get a prescription in that one hospital for 2-3 days. It happened to me, so that's why I'm mentioning it. You got to be careful again. Don't forget your medication.
Right.
So just real quick, some of these things you need to do sooner than later. Don't wait till the last week or so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially like insurance and stuff like that. Sometimes it takes a few days for them to process all this kind of stuff. So a few weeks ahead of time is a good time to start all that stuff.
At least a few weeks. Definitely, you're so right, Ken.
And that's the reason why I've done this presentation ahead of time, so that you have it. Now, money. How much money should I bring? That's always a big question, or that. I can't answer that for you. That's entirely up to you.
If you bring more than $10,000, you have to declare.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. A lot of us will be bringing truckfuls, but anyway. So,
So just quickly, I may just get to this in just a moment. Maybe I'm just butting in too early here. But
no. Go ahead, Ken.
The cost for the hotels and food will run probably about $1,000 US, give or take, by the time all is said and done for the week. So that's probably the minimum you want to bring, or if you're going to put it on your card or whatever, that you can adjust that however. But that's the base amount. Between $800 and $1,000 US is probably
US, of course.
Yeah. And normally for the, like Ken mentioned. Now, the thing to remember at the Hamvention, if you're out in the flea market and you see something you want, it's the greenback that counts. Don't bring a bunch of Canadian Tire money with McTavish on it, because they won't accept it, right? or whatever. Krista can allude to this, that unless it's got George Washington or Ben Franklin on it, forget it. They're not going to look at it, right? So it's cash, because they don't handle credit cards. The commercial dealers inside, not a problem if you want to use your credit card, and it'll give you the best rate with a credit card. So you may want to take that into account. Sorry, Claude, you had something else?
When you do go to a flea market, $100 bills are frowned on, and $50 bills are frowned on. So it's 20s and 10s, lots. You know, it's just a word of caution, because some vendors will have a scanner to scan the $100 bills, but most of them don't. I've experienced that when I went to one of the flea markets in Mesa there.
Yeah. So that's the other thing. And you may want to bring some Canadian, because we'd probably be stopping, Tim Hortons or whatever on the Canadian side. So whatever the case is. So, and again, there are ATM machines. So if you've got an ATM card that's got the international thing, you can go to an ATM, take out 200 American, and it will take out of your account 200 and whatever the exchange rate is, 240 or 50 Canadian out of your account. So it'll do
the
that.
ATM machines, especially if you're trying to draw US funds with a Canadian credit card, it'll probably cost you $6 to draw.
Yeah, there is a fee for it.
There is a fee. It's wise to carry, if you do have a US account or a US credit card, like I do carry I have a US account, so then it's the fees are very minimum, eh? But that's
What about?
Go ahead.
What about the Continental card? You know, the Continental currency card?
It's Continental yours. It's just used in Canada.
Oh, it's just here, eh?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's actually one of the cheapest places to convert money to US. If you want to go to the Continental Exchange place here in the mall or whatever,
Yeah,
that's that's the cheapest place you're going to find for a conversion rate.
yeah, that's where I go.
So change your money over before you come and have that. You know, we used to say get traveler's checks and stuff like that, maybe for the vendors, but I don't see them used, and forget it for these flea market guys. They're out of a pickup truck and the thing, and unless you've got that cash, they're not even going to look at you. So
It's been 3 or
Just been-
4 years that I haven't seen anybody use traveler's checks anymore. They're
Yeah.
very hard to cash.
yeah, exactly.